Welcome to the Real Double Dose Channel broadcast station, focused on the real reels of real life, love, growth, and of course, elevation within all levels. RDDC is exactly the place where anyone can discover more depth, love, light, and clarity within themselves, and elevate from other people's walks of life, conversations, and questions, along with deeper insights. So tune in and be a part of the Double Doses with Lexus T and RDDC.
Welcome back, my wonderful, amazing, extraordinary RDC family and friends, and so much more coming on. This is your host, Lex, coming to you straight from the heart where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. And hashtag Flip the Switch DA coming at you as well. And a shout out to Hector Rivera and the people that make it happen, especially my girl, Angela, Tony, Shyla, the ones who keep it moving, and all the past guests and the new ones to come. We're happy to be on here. For any show requests, feedback, or anything under the sun, check us out at realdoubledosechannel.com. That is www.realdoubledosechannel.com. Check out the cool drop more down menu and the other stuff we have for travel with blessings, as well as our I think it's called the FDS, which is Flip the Switch SOB, School of Business, and that is also going to be the TAGR. We have a lot of abbreviations, right? But it's Think and Grow Rich. That's what we have for the group, and it's growing. We're just kind of modifying it right now, what we want to do, and have that implemented for everyone who has joined already, okay? Whether it's 1 equals 1 million. Remember what we always say. For anything else, go to Real Double Dose Channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com. And as well, for inquiries, you can go to Flip the Switch at reborn.com. That's Flip DA Switch at reborn.com if you have any inquiries for that too. We're going to have the FDS Hot Seat RDC style, where we're helping everyone implement what they got to do in under hopefully 7 to 10 minutes and build you out a blueprint. And there's so much more to tell you about, but I don't want to get you too excited before we get into this episode. As well, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Spreaker.com, Podchaser, Google Cast, Giovanni. We got Deezer. We have TuneIn. I think we got Spreaker. I don't want to say it again. iTunes, iHeart, SoundCloud. And the links should be, and they should be on the blog updated. I'm going to make sure they are. But you can always go to the SoundCloud page, and any of our episodes should have all of the brand new things that are going on now. We just love our SoundCloud as well. It's been rolling with us for a while, and it's always kept us a little bit extra perky. So I want to say love, blessings, peace. Don't forget to check out that webinar that we have released for you to get some extraordinary training and as well as blessings to level up on life in your free, wonderful 3K worth vacation package on the Think and Grow Rich. And you can find that link directly when you scroll down on realdoubledosechannel.com, and you'll see us there with the wonderful bundle that is going to be together with that, with Hector and I, as our little mini me emojis on there. But there's more to come for many things. I just want to say that I'm thankful for all of you, and I'm very happy beyond any kind of measure to say, beyond reproach, should I say, that you guys are so amazing. You know, I feel like I'm not doing a service to my Spanish community. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos. And we're going to be getting that together as well. I'm not the best. I'm kind of internationally Spanish-ized, like my tia says, or my auntie says in Colombia. I have my friends from Venezuela, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, of course, and my other abuelita that has been an abuelita for me for a very long time, and Leticia. Shout to you, abuelita, I love you. And she's from Mexico también, so I have our as well. So I want you guys to know too, that's coming open even more, and that's open. And Hector, of course, has his descendants from the Hispanic and Latino culture, as well as my browns. You know what I'm saying? People call black, I say browns. As well as got my Irish cream in there. I got a lot of stuff. It's all blended, baby. It's all blended. And I will never forget my indigenous other roots that come down from the Ichota tribe from my mother's side and beyond, and my grandfather and my great grandfather. So shout out to my lovely natives and my history of all that come into the alignment. I want to say thank you though, because you guys have been champions. I mean, champions. And I don't know how many other broadcasts or podcasts, because we're technically not a podcast where we're on like 17 syndicates. Podcast is more like 2 to 3 syndicates, but still, we still knew where we started off, right? Started from the bottom. Now we hit. Okay, sorry, Drake, we love you. Just saying. But let me get a conversation on here. Now, this right here is not necessarily my ideology that came from it, but I've been listening for a little minute now, to EYL, and that's Earn Your Leisure. This is not a sponsor from them. This is not an endorsement. They probably don't even know that obviously I'm breathing out here. They know someone is, but if you haven't heard of them, go check out their channel. They're off the chain. They're just amazing, man. I'm just so in love with Troy and Rashad and Ashcast, #Hashcash. And especially this other, I mean, not to mention the phenomenal people they've had on their platform. Awesome how they drop it down with all the game. As well as, I believe, Julian Gordon. He's wonderful as well. It's talking about multifamily units, and you've probably seen some different stuff out here with him. And then as well as, I want to say it right, Storm Leroy, Mr. Storm Leroy. I mean, he was the last one that I heard. And there's other females, other wonderful guests. I mean, off the chain. My mind's so filled with all the jewels that they drop. I literally cannot get my brain to kind of like, I scroll, get the name, and it's right there. Then an hour later, 20 things bombard me, and I'm like, man, but I do my screenshots. So that's something I wanted to share, because I'm like, I'm dropping my jewels and I'm doing more of that as well. And maybe one day, who knows, I'll be on EYL Network having an interview from them. That would be amazing. Especially going to their Invest Fest. But I wanted to put that out there. So Lexus T has said that on her show about how cool they are. And phenomenal. They are, really. But I wanted to say that because I believe when Mr. Storm, his name is awesome, Storm Leroy. Mr. Leroy was talking. He said, ask. He always has the motto of ask. And that's always seek knowledge. And I was like, man, I really like that. We were thinking about doing a segment called #AskLex.com or #Ask7Minutes with or questions quick fire. And we're still going to have that called the #FDS hot seat. But overall, I was looking at that and I'm like, man, that sounds wonderful. Ask. Always seek knowledge. When you're asking, you're always seeking knowledge. And that got to me, and I wanted to ask that to my RDC families and Flip the Switch families and ask, and my Travel with Blessing families, because I know you have all came aboard and starting to get on that journey. But what is it about that? We get to the question of asking, and we almost get to a point, and this is #ask, right? The ask. Always seek knowledge, okay? Maybe Angela or I will have it posted differently. I'm not sure, but it's #ask, right? But overall, it comes down to that. Do we ask enough? And some of us don't even want to ask that question now, because if we can't get it in seconds, I know I'm guilty of telling Google or the Google Assistant to tell me, hey, hurry up, say what I got to say. Like, I want my question within 10 seconds before I can even finish the sentence. I'm like, read my mind. There's always something throwing an ad from my thoughts anyway out there. Read what I'm about to say and give me the correct answer. And when I can't get it, I get angry. Or I don't want to ask the question because I don't want to know the truth of what I know already from asking. I mean, maybe you can find yourself in this predicament, like, So in the previous episodes we've had with the TAGR Part 2 or Think and Grow Rich Part 2, I know it's probably an episode in between there, obviously, and we have Heck versus Hell episodes coming out, #Heck versus Hell, where the truth he tells. But I wanted to sit there and say, this is also a part of that, the #Ask. And this is the TAGR, the Think and Grow Rich segment Part 3. This comes to the point, always seek knowledge. Now, going back to that conversation I had previous, going to get snippets. You still can get the book rollout. It's going to be phenomenal because it's also going to drop jewels and give you a guiding system into pinpoints on where to stop, go, recreate, and do what you need to do. It's not just a story about, quote, my journey in my life, but that whole concept of the spiritual rebirthing and all that's something that's also waiting for you on different levels. There's always stages to this. But going back to that's one thing I didn't like about that journey. I can't say it started just from the California journey, but where I was cognitively aware is when that spiritual death happened for 3 days. And that's what happened in California. Now, I'll be speaking about things from my life as a child growing up and beyond, which is pretty graphic on different things as well. So I'll probably have to have a private one on that, a private episode kind of thing where it's locked and you have to kind of get signed up to kind of hear that, especially for the people who are under, because I know I have audiences as well that reach or as young as 13. I've actually found out with stats, 13 all the way to 60s and 70s. I don't even know, but # to all of you, any age, bomb.com. Boom. Thank you for your support. That during that moment, during those issues, I was trying to figure out how come I wasn't asking more questions. Like, I purposely didn't ask. And my mother and I didn't have the closest relationship, but we had a deep relationship that spiritually, as a seer and a prophetess, we could understand with each other. But when it came down to the fire bumping heads, the Aries fire bumping heads with the Aquarius, and she's the matriarch mother, it was kind of like a battle. And my sister, God rest her dear, beautiful heart, my little Capricorn, she was kind of Mama's shadow, Mamita's shadow. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not room for me. But during that journey, even throughout my times around the Minnesota area, I was wanting to ask questions about that individual, which I'll disclose his nickname later. Just different things that were common sense that I had the intuition to know, but I was still like, I don't want to ask. I don't want to provoke the thought. I don't want to know. Some of us don't always seek knowledge or ask because we don't want to know the truth of that knowledge, even though we innately know the truth. Some of us just want to steer away from it because we don't want to look dumb. We don't want to look like we're provoking something for someone to start digging in our business. And we don't want to get to a point to where we're sitting here like, man, did I really want to know that right now? Some people say, well, I should have known such and such was cheating on me, but I didn't ask. I didn't say anything when I saw the perfume and the lipstick. I just let it go because you wanted to live in that moment. Now, maybe you're stressed out. Maybe there's things going on. Maybe you're just like, whatever. Let the universe work it out. But ultimately, the results that happen because of it can be detrimental. Even if you're like, well, it's not a big thing, Lex. Well, what if it is? What if that person brings something back to you? Right? I.e., what if that person gets someone else pregnant and you're about to start your family with them and you're married? Whatever. What if this issue happens to where that person becomes psychotic over them and they come hunt you down? Unfortunately, that's been in the journey where people will come burn the whole house down and burn their children down in it from just being obsessed or feeling like they were backstabbed. On to another conversation, not too deep, but ultimately, I want to ask you, what have you not asked lately? What are you afraid to ask? What are you afraid to always seek knowledge about? And if so, do you feel like it's just too much for you to deal with? I get it. Life can be overwhelming. Things can happen. And you're sitting here like, man, I could barely look at a short. I mean, right now, they got our minds programmed, and we've programmed it as well to be like, oh, let me watch a 60-second short. And if it's over 50 seconds, I'm going to scroll to the next and scroll to the next and scroll to the next. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. But it's detrimental as well having something that movement because it just makes us more prone to having short attention spans. Now, imagine how that's going to feel detrimental to our family, especially children growing up with the things that happen, the attention that we need to focus on. Always seek knowledge. There's something that's so extraordinary about seeking that knowledge and that change, thinking and growing rich and feeling it, becoming the change and becoming more of all that is. If I would have asked those questions beforehand, I wouldn't have had the journey. But ultimately, I knew asking those questions beforehand would have stopped me from that mysterious journey. I had signs. I had warning signs. Yes, I did. I had warning signs. Felt it. Went through it, and my mind was thinking, it's okay, we'll work it out. I'm just kind of that, not quote daredevil, I don't understand, dare angel, but I'm like, let me just go. I need something, a new turn in my life. And sometimes it's not always good to over analyze, but it's good to know your grounds on where you're going so you can help someone else in their direction. Always seeking knowledge is something that grows and enhances. I actually felt like I want to be honest, as always, with my beautiful, yes, you, whoever you're listening to in the car, you're downloading, you right there in the bathroom brushing your teeth right now, you over there cooking and listening to it, you over there shaking your head like, let's tell it, Lex. Right, I'm talking to you, my darlings. Yes, where you're sitting here like, man, I just, I want to get that knowledge in me and I want to seek it, but I felt like I was dying in a certain way. And I had told Hector this, I told Angela this many other times before. I felt like I can't even learn, like even learning my normal stuff that I typically like to have my brains fill up with in a good way. I was listening to my different spiritual understandings of the plexus of pineal glands and different stuff from really, really deep, profound knowledge and passages and actual documentary and people who are really profound in their fields instead of just a random 10 reasons why you're feeling this way kind of thing. And they're awesome as well, those videos and different things, but I wanted to give myself more food. And the moment I started doing that, I felt amazing. I'm actually more lucid. I'm actually aware in my state now of the quote dream, and I call them dream visions. And Hector's embraced that word. I want to say a lot about that because Hector and I have been collabing on multiple different things, but he's a wonderful, COO going on and beyond. But it's like, I'm aware that I'm in the dream itself, and I can kind of get what I need to get from it and kind of extract it out, almost like a military operation. It's pretty awesome. I'll teach you about it if you want. Same thing as a Think and Grow Rich, because you're going to see my manifest journey, and I'm going to roll that out as well for different stuff. Look out for the realdoubledosechannel.com. I'm going to have some of those manifest things out, what's going on with my partnership with one of the biggest things out here, period. And it's not really a super low-key thing, but I like to be humble about it and I like to be respectful about it. But I'm gonna have the layout of it so you can at least see the journey of what's going on with that when I'm up at the storages and so forth. And we're gonna be giving some amazing giveaways from that blessing as well, so just don't forget to check that out. All of you have been checking out website, and I appreciate that for our home base. We love social media as well, but we're more of a, hey, come check out the website, come get some updates on the ddc.com, rddc.com, and check it out. Obviously it's not RDC.com, is realdoubledosechannel.com, but you understand what I mean. So yeah, let's piggyback back into this. But that's where it came from. It came from that whole retrospect of needing to learn and always seeking knowledge. Some people have asked me, what's the point of knowing? I'm going to die anyway. And I tell them, if you need to eat that last cheeseburger, go ahead. It might be your last day, but how many are you going to tell yourself that? Yeah, I would rather not have that. More of a healthier style. People don't have to just have a plain salad to lose weight. That's a shame. I've lost 25 pounds in 6 weeks, documented from Mayo Clinic, my awesome doctors for the last double decades, whatever, a couple decades or whatever. And, they were asking me what I was eating on my diet to lose that not much time, and working out 3 days a week for about 45 minutes, barely. So I know how to lose what I want to lose, but choice is, do I want to? Do I want to do it, or is my life equivalating that, or what am I feeling? So it's good to know the power, because once you have the knowledge, you can apply it whenever you want. But yeah, time is of the essence. We don't know when the stop clock is in our life, but why? Why stop learning? Why stop asking, where do we come from and where do we grow from? There's so much information out there, but you need to seek out the right people who can give you the information. Obviously it's inside the field of you. That's always going to tell you the radar of truth or not, unless you're in denial or there's some delusion of grandeur under some narcissistic fathom. But honestly, narcissism is a whole nother key, just as well as the empathic role, right? So I say this to say, and to end it off with this saying, always seek knowledge, and hashtag Storm Leroy, hashtag EYL. I just want to say you guys are phenomenal. But I just feel like when he said that, it just struck me 10 times harder. And I'm always talking about it, don't get me wrong. But ask, always seek. When people want to know about stuff, they always get so scared. And I get it. Everything wants to have your credit card. Everything wants to rebill you 1,000,000 times. Everything says they're going to do something, or almost everything says it's going to do something that doesn't deliver. But the first thing you have to deliver is getting to that point. Because you can't really be tricked or scammed or whistle blow to the next corner unless you're doing your due diligence on what you need to do. Not shiny object or shiny ear problems, but getting to the point where you're like, man, this is what it feels like. I feel good with it. I'm listening to my senses. I'm praying about it, and I'm making a move about it. Like, if you're not willing to do that, that's fine. People think, well, why should I call a coach for this? Well, hell, you're not getting anywhere else without one. If you need that kind of clarity, you can go to 17 free coaches online. That's fine. But you're not going to find that anointed and appointed one for you unless you're always seeking knowledge, always seeking ASW, always seeking wisdom, and different stuff in between. But you need to ask. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. So I want to leave that for you, and to say the TAGR for that part 3 snippet is, I didn't do enough of that. I didn't do enough asking. I just was kind of quiet playing. And even though a quote turned out, I still could have saved years and countless thousands of dollars off my time and abuse that I shouldn't have. But I realized maybe, and this is the alternate conversation I was having the other night, maybe I could look at it and say, man, I wasted a decade off my life. I don't know how many days I got left. It's sad and it hurts me to not know how many days I have left on this life. But that's the beauty of it too, not waking up saying, okay, let's say something in the past, May 2nd of, 2075, I'm going to be gone off of this world. You don't want to be like, oh man, and that day comes like, dang, this is the day I'm going. Yeah, of course. But I look at the time where I'm like, well, maybe this was the course that I'm supposed to be on, and I am exactly where I need to be now. The creators of all divine and nature have seen this already play out in the decisions that I'm making already. And free will permits them to just sit there and let me do what I got to do. Maybe I am 10 years behind. Maybe I'm 10 years early. But whatever it is, I personally feel like I could have been there at least a good 8 years ago. But mentally and emotionally, from the things I found out and I've been through, from the head injuries, from taking care of my mother, to the funerals, to the detriment of everything I've seen and the beauty, it couldn't have prepared me even more than I've ever thought in my wildest dreams right now. people always want to say this and that. They automatically assume your harmony and your balance has to do with the numbers in your bank account, and they're not looking at the countless energy, abundance, and numbers in your spiritual account. That's something people can't. I'm a zillionaire when it comes down to that. Yeah, I might not be able to quote compete with you right now on what you have in your account or what kind of car you driving, whether you're in debt or not, or your little Instagram or whatever photos you take. But I guarantee when it comes down to spiritual, mental, and emotional, I will outdo any person in this world, period. Done. Come contest with it. 1, I'm a seer. 2, I'm an empath on 5 clear levels. And I know what I have, and I know what was given to me by the creators of all things, not something I had to conjure up. That's one thing I'm so humbled by. But ultimately, when I started asking, always seeking knowledge even more than I did before, the right knowledge, the right understanding, and stop seeing everything as a fluke or a scam or this and that, what the world taught. And trust me, I've lost a lot of money, a lot of feria in the journey of looking at stuff from the beginning of getting in my computer about, a decade and something change ago. And I'm like, man, but it all taught me something. And now I can write the blueprint and the script and get everything more organized. See, my problem is now is so much abundance, I have to figure out where to put it and make it streamlined. Not for the fact that I'm lacking of abundance. And that's what I hope to pour over into you and with you. Hashtag the Think and Grow Rich masterclass is out there, but this is also a masterclass that we're having, and I'm going to continue this for some series to go, maybe 10 episodes of it, maybe 12, but I want to get it through to you as well. Even if you don't sign up, watch the webinar itself. That drops jewels, period, when we go in there and drop all that outline for you. And really, for what we give and what we do in it, it cannot be compared to any $3,000 package of vacation or anything else. It propels you forward, and being able to have the blueprint on the calls that we have and being able to have someone step by step walk with you and actually help you get through it and set it up with you, not for you, but with you, so you can replicate it again. It'll teach you. You ask and always seeking knowledge in those beautiful one-on-ones or conversations of the group, and not feel like you're out of it, and have a camaraderie and a support and partnership system, having a accountability. Yeah, hashtag let us know, go on the TikTok at the Goddess Lexus T, get on there, and have everything ready. Like I said, go to soundcloud.com, Real Double Dose channel, you should find us and go on there and look at all the information on the episodes. You click on there and they'll be able to, on the episode, and they'll have a drop down menu, and you can have all the links that we have, the blog spot, whatever else it is. You can find us, right? So I just want to make sure you understand that. And maybe I should have had that little bit of a different name on there, but I wanted to have the Goddess Lexus T because that's who I am on the different social media platforms. But we'll also have stuff posting on IG as well, and re-cleaning that up and getting that out there, so more of you can get the gifts that God's been waiting to give you through us, through me. Your sheep will make room for you, as Eric Thomas says, and Dr. Eric Thomas, or, the hip hop preacher, or just through that, your sheep shall hear your voice, as the greatest book of all times will say. So that's all I got to say for now. Remember to stay amazingly you. But as I heard Cat Williams say before, one of the worst advice pieces he had was don't change or stay the same or something like that. Don't quote me, but that's true. Stay amazingly you, but phenomenally elevate and vibrate that. Become extraordinarily who's been waiting for you. Trust me, the cap is 10 times a lot better when it's off the head and you can breathe. You know what I mean? So remember be the change, feel the passion, embrace the power of the spirit. You're amazing. Hashtag everything you are and beyond. Hashtag ask. Always seek knowledge. You know what I mean? Keep it going. Keep it copacetic. Keep growing. Check out the syndicates. Check out the episodes. Check out that wonderful link that's going to be on there. And remember to always elevate and keep it going on. We'll post that again on the DDC website, which you can just check that out and click. And also we'll put it on the blog spot as well. So remember, we love you. You're amazing, extraordinary, loving, and always full of growth. And we'll be back with you very, very, very soon. Hashtag, we'll see you on the flip side.